Shields up, Iron Breakers. Rurikhan here coming at you with another video. Welcome back to Elden Ring. And today, I'd like to talk to you guys a little bit about currently my favorite weapon in the game. Now, as you guys may or may not be aware, after I finished the blind playthrough that I uploaded here onto the channel, I've been working on a second character. And the plan for the second character was for me to see as many of the quest lines that I had missed on, as many of the endings as possible, and potentially a character for me to take onto New Game Plus. And in that character, I've been experimenting with different things. I wanted to have weapons that had more reach than hammers and the colossal hammers that I had been using in the blind playthrough. The reasoning behind it was because the reach was something that I found particularly frustrating, and I know that a lot of you guys got tired of hearing me talk about it in the playthrough. I apologize for that. It's just when you're in the moment, you're in the moment. And yeah, that's been something that I've been experimenting with quite a bit. One of the weapons that I landed on that has been very used throughout my playthrough is the Clayman's Harpoon. That is not my favorite weapon in the game, but it is an extremely powerful weapon when combined with the Ice Spear Ash of War. As you guys might have seen if you saw the video that I posted on the channel not that long ago, where I took on a secret boss that I missed in the blind playthrough because you guys wanted me to upload a video of like, Rurikhan, let us know when you fight this other dragon, and upload the video, and I uploaded the video. I think that some of you guys might have been disappointed because, yeah, the Ice Spear Ash of War from my weapon completely obliterated that poor boss. I almost felt sorry for him a little bit. But yeah, that is actually a weapon that I would potentially recommend if you're struggling through the game. This is a weapon that you can farm in like Ainsel River, whatever, some of those underground areas. If you get down there and there's the dudes, they have like the spear. It's got like a meteor tip, a meteor stone tip, whatever you want to call it. So just kill a bunch of those. Should be fairly easy to farm that out. I farmed it in like, I don't know, 10 minutes, something like that. And you upgrade that thing all the way, you put Ice Spear on it, and it's just going to decimate most things in the game without you even really needing to invest a whole lot of stats. That was actually something that surprised me because, like, the primary scaling attribute of that weapon is going to end up being intelligence, particularly with the way that I used it, which was cold. And you didn't really need to have that much stat investment for that thing to just deal tons of damage because frost and bleed really are extremely powerful, which is something that I didn't experiment with too much in my first playthrough. I understand that right now there's probably tons of other YouTubers that are out there and just like doing million builds. I know the Fighting Cowboy is doing that stuff, but I don't have as much time, and I feel like I experience games like Elden Ring in a different way from most people. But yeah, so that the Clayman's Harpoon ended up being like a really trusty weapon to go through the whole game, with the exception obviously of monsters that are not weak to cold or magic damage in general, because the damage of cold spells is pretty much magic. But even then, even on some of those that are resistant, you will still shred through things using the Clayman's Harpoon with Ice Spear. But that's not me advising you to use that, and that's not even my favorite weapon, but it was a good combo weapon for my favorite weapon. And at this point, I'm not going to leave you guys hanging any further. I feel like it wasn't really my intention to delay it that much. I just, you know me, I start jabbering. But this is a weapon that I did find in the blind playthrough. It was that shield. You guys might have seen how excited I was when I initially saw that shield. It is the one-eyed shield, and that is my favorite weapon in the game. I'm still experimenting with it. I'm still figuring stuff out. It's far from a perfect weapon. It's actually not a weapon that I would recommend to a lot of people because it is very hard to use properly due to the high animation commitment that you have when using the weapon. As a matter of fact, this was a weapon that I kind of needed to rely on Ashes of War in order to, distract the enemies a little bit so that I could prepare my big shot. And even then, there's plenty of monsters that are resilient to fire. As a matter of fact, there's certain NPCs that are just straight up immune to fire, like the Iron Maidens, Iron Virgins, whatever they're called, the big creatures that roll around and attack you and, throw things at you that are made out of iron. They're pretty much immune to fire because they're always rolling in lava and stuff. So they made those immune to fire, which means that my favorite weapon in the game actually deals 0 damage to those things, like actually no damage whatsoever. And there's also certain bosses where you'll shoot them with it and they're also literally immune to the damage of the one-eyed shield. But I gotta tell you guys, it is so satisfying to just like pop all the buffs and then just unleash a shot of the cannon and see it hit like 3,000 damage. This just feels really good. In certain occasions, if you do things properly, which is one of the reasons why I talked about the Clayman's Harpoon. You guys might think, oh, Rurikhan was just talking about Clayman's Harpoon to like fill time in the video to stretch it out to 8 minutes or whatever the duration is. No, the reason why Clayman's Harpoon ended up being such a good complement to it is because you can use the Clayman's Harpoon to trigger the frost status on monsters, and then you can use the shield to break the frost status, thus allowing you to reapply frost status immediately after the shield shot. But also it seems to me, and I'm not 100% sure how the math on this works, but it seems to me that the shield breaking frost makes it deal additional damage on the monsters, which makes it a very interesting playstyle that I didn't necessarily plan for, because initially I was just like, I just want some with reach. I want like a poking stick. I was using the lance. But then I started using Ice Spear, and I was like, damn, this thing's a freaking beast. And so it ended up being an interesting combo that those two weapons do together. I'm planning on some more things that I want to try out with it. Potentially even using 2 shields, which is something I'm not a big fan of, but there's no other weapon that really compares to, you know, what I personally like in-game weapons, which, I mean, if you think about it, when it comes to Monster Hunter, I'm a gun lance main. I like seeing things go boom. I like seeing explosions. I think that's a lot of fun, but I usually don't like playing caster classes. So have a weird, like, mechanical weapon that you gotta pull back, it takes a shot. Like, that is a really cool fantasy for me, which is one of the reasons why I'm considering, okay, maybe I'll use a shield in one hand, then I use this shield in the main hand and use the art. I haven't really tried that stuff out yet because, like I said, I've been using the shield in the left hand, and then I do poking with the spear, and I do a little bit of ice and a little bit of fire with the shield. But it's just a play style that I found tremendously satisfying. As a bit of an update to Elden Ring as well, because a lot of you guys have been asking me, you know, post more Elden Ring, do more Elden Ring streams or something like that. And I'm considering doing a live stream, but if I do the live stream, it'll probably be a different build, because like this run was just a run for me to really experience the game for myself, which I think it's important. But it also, you know, it's also something. I feel like Elden Ring being such a massive game, I'm very wary of getting burnt out, so I'm going to slow down a little bit. But I do want to do a New Game Plus run, because I've with one save file, I did the thing where you get to see all of the endings and whatnot, with the exception of one. There's one ending that is a little bit different from the other ones. You guys might know what I'm talking about. The one where you have to, you know, strip naked at a certain part in the quest line. You guys will know just by me saying that. And that ending I'm probably going to be saving for New Game Plus, because I want to see all of the cutscenes in that ending. And that might be a playthrough that I stream, maybe, at some point. I'm not promising that it's going to be, like, super close to the future, because I really want to pace myself with Elden Ring. I love the game, but, you know, it's just the type of game that if I keep playing it nonstop, I know that I'm going to burn myself out. So I have to pace myself. But I am thinking about ways in which I want to play, and the big problem that I have with it is, like, usually I really like strength builds, and I do feel like strength builds got a little bit gimped. I don't know if with the buffs, because they've been buffed ever since I played the game, because when I initially played the game, they definitely felt really weak. I've talked about it. I finished the game with it, but there were still aspects of it that I was like, man, I know about strength builds. And then I tried the different build where I was just using this weapon with 0 stat investment, and it was just shredding through the whole game. And I was like, oh my God, what is this? This is crazy. So yeah, I'm thinking about which things I want to do. Like, I'm even thinking about combining bleed and frost and just going crazy with it. But I don't know. I don't know how that will work out. But there's definitely a lot of builds floating in my head, and a lot of things that I want to try out. But we'll see. We'll see how a potential New Game Plus run is going to look. I'd like to, you know, hear from you guys if that's something that you like to see. Would you like me to stream it on the channel? Because I do feel like I also tend to fall into this trap that I put myself in, where I constantly overthink the content that I'm putting on the channel because of the almighty algorithm. And, you know, at the end of the day, it is my income, and I'm very scared of upsetting YouTube, especially when you got, you know, kids and stuff. And anyway, I don't want to go any further into that rabbit hole. Just know that I've done the thing. I've done pretty much all of the quests in Elden Ring, with the exception of the one where you have to strip naked, because I'll potentially do that one in a live stream. And I'm currently working on a video, which is going to be my very late Elden Ring review, which is not going to be a traditional review, but I just want to talk about the game and the stuff that I liked now that I've experienced it more, where I would rank it in my... yeah, I'm not going to answer that in this video, but where I would rank it together with all of the other Souls games, which is a question that I've been asked a lot. And yeah, I think that'll be a fun video to work on. It's probably going to take me a while still, because, you know, also working on stuff for the Unleashed channel, and also keeping up with rating in Final Fantasy XIV and the news that are coming for Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. So thank you all very much for your understanding. Thank you all very much for sticking with me, watching the content, and having a good time. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, team. Stay strong. Stay safe.